Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are the newest Pokemon games and are selling incredibly well, being the #1 fastest selling Switch games with 10 million copies sold in 72 hours. We all know that the game's performance is, well, interesting, to say the least. But this video is about the competitive scene, not the performance, and the competitive scene is the best part of Scarlet and Violet. First of all, the new Pokemon are relatively gimmicky, with Pokemon like Tatsugiri and Dondozo being a Dragon Ball reference, Belleville doing more damage than Morris and Tauros having different forms. All of these things combined with terrestrialization makes the game feel fresher. I also like how the teams are a lot more abnormal in this game. It could be because it's the start of a new generation, but Sword and Shield teams are mostly the same, with lots of Pokemon having high usage and others having almost none. It makes the game feel like a whole new franchise. It seems like Pokemon like Murkrow might start appearing in the newer formats. See, Murkrow is the only legal Pokemon with the ability Prankster, and the moves Tailwind and Haze. These moves provide excellent support, especially against Dondozo and Tatsugiri. This makes Pokemon that used to be considered bad become very good because of the limitations of the format. This means Pokemon with unique abilities could get teams built around them, making them become more popular the better the team is. Secondly, the format itself. Since the regional dex format that restricts legendary and paradox forms, the Pokemon choices are more limited, which could make the game feel too restricted, but it's not. With the 400 Pokemon available in Scarlet and Violet, the choices feel freer than ever before. Even pre-evolutions can shine to the Evilite item. This allows for obscure Pokemon to be made good enough to play. Pokemon that I've been trying recently are Espeon and Dusk-Lycanroc, since they do well to counter Murkrow and Dragapult. This makes niche Pokemon usable, and it's all thanks to the format. This is a lot different than Sword and Shield, where players were allowed to use 2 restricted legendary Pokemon. This made it so that most teams had Pokemon like Zacian and Calyrex Shadow. Since the legendary Pokemon were so strong, you pretty much had to use the best ones to do well. This made it feel restricting when building teams, because Pokemon like Articuno, which is one of my personal favorites, just weren't very good. Finally, the community. The competitive community is ever growing, and more players like me who like to use Pokemon that don't get much attention are starting to reveal their teams. This means more people using new teams with odd Pokemon. This means that the metagame could shift if the teams are made down to perfection. With lots of new combinations, I think this is likely to happen. When home compatibility comes out, Hisuian Pokemon might be legal for the first time, so giving players the option to use them in tournaments gives people even more options. With all possible combinations and counters, there is a solid chance that the metagame might not be used by most players for the very first time, which is really exciting to me, because it allows Pokemon that I like to win for the very first time. This is great because the saying, truly skilled trainers win with their favorites, has always been false because, just like Articuno, some Pokemon aren't very good. With tournaments starting up in January 2023, I'm excited to see what new players with creative teams will do and how the metagame will shift. Thank you all very much for watching, and if you made it this far, then please think about subscribing. I'm planning on taking more time to work on my videos and make them as high quality as possible. Thank you very much.